in disbelief, quite frankly, at how they've won yet another event. But it feels that this is starting to get a little bit more uncomfortable than we've ever seen them before.
I think with the rest of the lobby, you are praying that Virtus.pro does not come out swinging here. Reminder, folks, 135 is our match point threshold. Game number 1, VP came out and dropped 50 on the lobby. Very possible for them to do it here. Does Virtus.pro cross our match point threshold, or do we go one more game? Always the question here in Call of Duty Warzone. Well, let's get ready, my friend, as our players are getting ready to dive on in from the sky. Plane lines going from the northwest down towards the south. Things could start getting a little bit mixy here off the drop.
Could indeed, and obviously eyes on toward Factory then. This has been where Twisted Minds are playing out of. They're currently second in our standings, a ways behind Virtus.pro mind, a good 30 points, but this could be one of those games that if you set up early enough for, could give you a little bit of a gap to everybody else chasing behind. We'll get a quick look at this fight that will erupt again at Bioweapon. Team Vision up against the Gentlemates. FIFA kill, Enkyo. They trade blows, call it the draw, reset, come again. Enkyo catches Lennon out, who tried to switch in for that fight. Little French prince. With an SMG in hand, not many people will want to fight him out here on the map, and you just found out why.
Yeah, PPP zone in hand will let you take multiple fights in a row without worry. FIFA kill playing from that top side, Echo down below. I do wonder, can they manage to kind of meet on up? But look who's kind of started to join the party here, Enigma. Dongi. He's managed to find himself all the way from Chemical here into Bio. And, well, he'll get cut down by Echo. A little bit of the kills getting fed on over. Gromaluk and Enkyo, they'll go ahead, trade on up, cut down Echo in the meantime. So we are a little bit of a blender starting to happen here on this northeastern side of the map as a couple of our top teams start to battle it out.
Yeah, tough for me to watch personally, European on European hate, but it's all right. We'll see the French pick up a number of kills, and Lennon, well, he's got to find a way to slip away. Otherwise, this is their team potentially out of here. You want to get the second player back in. Enkyo maybe overextends here. Going to be shot in the back by Leviathan, who are currently set up in Industries, and, well, the reposition from Enkyo is beautiful to find Len in the feed. Got to be careful about bullets coming in here, though. A little bit of life left on you, and no plates either for your little Frenchman there. Got to get back towards your teammates, and, well, Novo have been our first team wiped here, so much success through the early stage of this tournament. Today looking a very different story.
Yeah, you can see they get wiped, and that's going to really open up that control center side because, well, look who has now made their way to that control center dock. It is going to be XO, and for Twisted Minds, they've flexed on up from Factory. Smitty, he's hoping to be able to come online here. He's able to find Rated. Will hop from G1 to G2 and is trying to make sure that nobody is there for the trade. So it's an easy cleanup, and I like what Twisted Minds is doing. It feels like they focus through these couple first games of moving from Factory and trying to either move up to Harbor or down to living quarters, but for now it's pushing on up to headquarters.
I fully agree. They're drawing a bit of a line in the sand. I will say, though, the Falcons have arrived to living quarters far earlier than usual, so they are potentially looking at the situation of needing a lot more kills, and Soka's going to be close by the way, so maybe this is one of the change-ups that's coming through to try and give them a bit more of an advantage in some of these fights. Donkey does enough to find Deki, will be shut down by Lays, who has had himself a phenomenal tournament. Noob's going to be on a bit of a trade-out situation. Clean up on 2 of the fights. TT Gaming, they're out of here. The Frenchman also suffering a little bit at the hands of Vision Esports. Back and forth we go. Enkyo stays up. Plenty of plates in the pocket to reset this fight. Hallow's going to try and cover over from the window if he can get there. Noob slides and, well, firing out in towards the smoke. Will hit very little in the end. Forced to back off, and kills coming through for the Falcons on Twisted Minds.
Falcons getting a lot more active earlier here today. 2 members of Twisted Minds fall. It's going to leave last one. You got to imagine that's Almond at Factory, as it looks like they are starting to maybe come online. You can see Soka and Biffle are actually going to be the ones running 2 by 2. Shifty's going to be the one down at Stronghold. That's from him getting taken out earlier, so probably while he's on the regain, you let these 2 push on forward. You start to maybe feel a little bit better. Biffle slides on out. A little bit of a spring mine action. We'll go ahead, back away Biffle. He's not going to be able to be there, but from the other side, you see Soka does find Aiden. That's the second of the map. Looking to get active. We've seen this sometimes for Soka. If the team's not really gelling well, he says, put me on the front lines. Sometimes a general loves to lead from the back, but Soka, when the time calls, he will be leading the pack from the front.
Now, so often we talk about him as this anchor, as the AG.AL, as the intelligent player. Ladies and gentlemen, this man can shoot up there with his 2 teammates as one of the very best in the world, let me tell you. Gonna get aggressive here, find Smitty on the outside of the water. And this is exactly the adjustment that the Falcons are going to make. And as the rest of the lobby recognizes this, it might well change up the play that they make, become ever more scared of the Falcons, give them more space to operate in. That being said, Twisted Minds, they're going landing over towards Stronghold here. They might push that out, never mind. Shifty will find Allman to the boat. 100 Thieves. Gabe tries to push out, will be punished for it. You do have company from Leviathan here if you are EXO. So it's about trying to pick your battles. Blast catches one. Ooh, slips and slides out. I wasn't 100% sure if that was intentional, but you will survive for now.
Worked out. Worked out for the time being. Hamoud, though, has an idea that Blast is down here behind the forklift. Blast just stuck. Can he get any bit of help? It looks like you got a player floating from above, maybe try to give you those live pings if possible. If you are Blast, thankfully Tempered in hand will let you reset this fight beautifully. LC10 in hand, you find Hamoud, you'll stop the self-revive for coming on in, and it's just a little bit of a dance of death right now for Blast as he flies on in against Penguin, and he's not going to be able to do it. We are at least able to find one, and that is great for the time being. 100 Thieves will continue to hold this top side.
One of those moments there, I wonder if Blast can just wait for one of his teammates to get into that fight, potentially help him with the trade-out situation. Because he operates alone, you end up just falling, giving up. It could be an important kill later on. Anyway, over to the Falcons, who've started to move up this southern shoreline towards Harbour, surrounded by two members of Twisted Minds, and Smitty will shoot you in the back. Soka, you're in trouble. And, well, Soka can shoot with some of the best in the world, but so can a young man named Z-Smith. So you regain control of this shoreline. You will have players rotating on over, though, from AG Global. You've also got a little bit of company from the Falcons, and Leviathan trying to regain on this side of the map as well. So it's getting very busy over by Factory.
Yeah, just in mind, so they at least have the opportunity, if they need to back on up towards Red or even Harbor, back on a little bit deeper, they're going to be able to. See Biffle maybe trying to help Soka in that engagement. He's now found himself over here in Factory, just looking to be a nuisance. Decky, Lays from Leviathan, just playing on this bottom side. Almond, he'll get back towards the top. All of a sudden, Factory becoming very, very active here in map number 5 after we've not really seen a lot of action in the past couple of games. And Biffle throws a little bit of a shoulder on that steps, and look who's looking down at him. Fully aware of where you are playing from. Well, it's a player from Twisted Minds at the top.
Yeah, showing the difference there in actually understanding the drop spot so much more because it's your innate home. You find that extra angle coming in from Almond, the Biffle's just not expecting. He's forced to back off. There's a huge fight going on over towards No Name. Concrete will be held by the Gentlemates for now as Hallow finds himself a couple of kills in the feed. 5th kill slipped underneath to just anchor his team in for now. But it will be another regain situation for Team Vision. A difficult couple of maps for them. The French starting to hunt in the waters, and Clumsy finds out that they're extremely shallow when Hallow has an LC10 in hand. So you set up for now. You've got rotations coming in from Virtus.pro. This could be a huge fight for the rest of this map. Lincoln's claim here to this northern side will give you a free roam down towards Control Center, maybe a little bit of a contest at boat, but otherwise you'd be feeling pretty for the next circle.
Yeah, I love this. I think you play this a little bit of ahead. You understand where the Gentlemates are, maybe try and back them on down. But it looks like for now, Virtus.pro going to go ahead back on up. You still have Sage over towards that chemical engineering side. And while Donkey and Noobs, they make their way back up towards the top of Prison. It's Prodigy in the window. He is just raining down bullets. And Noobs, he's made a little bit of a read onto Vision here. And it's some great shots indeed. Vision will get taken on out by Donkey, who's good for a solid trade as he moves on forward. Donkey, though, a nade up over the top. He's looking for the confirmation. That might be enough. He's going to get the hit marker. Can he get the hop up? Can he find the timing that is there? Oh, but Vision, Wars, they're on the outside. Drops on in. LC10 in hand. Donkey, he's good. Can he reset this fight? I don't know if he can. Where are the help? Nowhere to be found. Donkey eliminated. Noobs had to go regain over by Chemical with Sage. But hey, if you're Donkey, at least you're good for one.
Yeah, I think he gets unlucky there as well. He throws the flash into the rooftop and actually bounces back towards him. So I think if that had gone the direction he wanted, maybe even good for 2 there. Let's look at EXO Esports. Sitting bottom of our leaderboard currently. Need to find a way into this fight. You will be pressured trying to get up these stairs by 100 Thieves. You also got the Gentlemates slightly inland as well. The circle's dragging heavily off towards Factory or headquarters side. So you've got to find a punch through these defensive lines early in order to find a rotation. Gabe's going to try and rotate here, but I don't think he's expecting EXO to start to play alongside the shore. Smoke goes out to cover, and if you are that 100 Thieves teammates set up in Control Center, you're very worried about losing him at a moment like this, potentially an overstray.
Yeah, but on the other side of the map, Twisted Minds, they went crazy in the kill feed, finding so many kills on the Leviathan. You can see the Falcons, they're starting to move on up, and well, Rated from AG.AL is just trying to make his way back to G1, already feeling fantastic right now, all with some shots out of the sky. Yet again, you find Lays here, Clumsy, flying in towards the boat as you are just looking to go ahead and farm right now if you are the Twisted Mind. They've been doing such a great job so far, currently sitting second on our leaderboard. It's been all about mixing those kills with the placement where they can. And map number 5, it's looking very good for them, but they have to be able to get towards that end game, get to that 1.4 to be able to maybe start having some contention against Virtus.pro.
Certainly do, and several teams, by the way, edging their bets at this point, recognizing that the circle's pulling off towards this corner. Twisted Minds will fight the factory, but you're also going to have Gentlemate setting up a headquarters alongside AG Global. It's prison that Rock Esports are going to want to fight their way out of and have done enough to back down their opposition in Team Vision here. But that circle's going to drag ever further off towards factory. So all that work that Twisted Minds have done at this point will hand them potential win condition. That being said, they will have plenty of company and teams started to scramble down the hill. Thief gets caught. Enkiel's trying to send bullets on over the top. So is Hallow. And right now, you're going to have to back up and just stay alive. Unfortunately, you lose Wars and Rock Esports in a tough position for the next rotation.
Is FIFA about to get the self off? Oh my gosh, he does.
How the hell?
Smoke comes on out. It's basically because Gentlemates are here and Grandma's looking on over. Have absolutely no idea that Thief had found himself knocked right underneath that staircase. We're more concerned about shooting on over towards Rock. Lennon will get found on out, and you can see Thief, he's out there. They watch Echo come on in. It's a battle in the showers. He's trying to be able to sprint away. Snakes are in. The form is looking a little bit of good as Rock will go ahead, bring the bullets to their EU brethren. They would love to be the squad on top coming out of the Esports World Cup, and, well, they are laying a good claim to it so far. Win the last map, and they're looking pretty good right now.
Not bad at all. Everyone takes a breath then, sets up. I say that, 100 Thieves, they're going to roll up. They want to fight the Falcons. On the opposite side of this are the FaZe boys. So you start to be squeezed if you are the defending champions. 2 dead. Shifty only remains. He slips out the backside. Sorry, Soka will be up. Only by a bullet.
No way.
Just about gets away. Plate goes in. Doesn't have much spare. Finds one on the deck. We'll scoop that inside. 100 Thieves on the hunt. 3 up players on board. And the Falcons are gone again. Don't even make top 10 here in map 5.
Wow. I don't know what we are seeing. And you can see the venue. It's all claps. They're happy for that one. An early exit yet again from the Falcons. I liked what we saw from them. It was an earlier push up to living quarters. I thought that was going to allow them to get a little bit more active. We saw Soka himself on the front line. Falcons trying to do something new here in map number 5, trying to fight their way up the leaderboard, but it's still just not enough. I think they're maybe starting to feel the competition, starting to feel the pressure that some of these other squads are bringing.
And there is nothing but layer cake action here at Factory. To quote our good friend, Grandmaster Goge. Gentlemen will be a part of this, so will Virtus.pro. You're going to see kills coming in from Twisted Minds onto AG Global. And look at this, layer upon layer of teams waiting to activate, waiting to strike. Going to let everybody else fight first and hook to third party a couple of situations. Maybe find yourself some freebies. You want bodies going into the end fights. You want to be the ones to come out on top in the trades.
Well, if you're the Gentlemates, you're probably want to just say, let them eat cake at this point. Come on in, let these players go ahead, battle it on out. Hold this side, and I don't get antsy. Don't think you have to maybe try and push for a different layer. Wait for where this zone goes ahead and pulls. Virtus.pro, though, they want some of these kills. Doggy already currently sitting on 8. I think if VP can manage to convert this at least into a top 5, you're going to see them push their way up the leaderboard. But for right now, Head is just going to hold on in. 7 squads remaining, looking to get towards that 1.4 times multiplier. And look where this zone pulls. It's on over towards the school. Hop on the bus, ladies and gentlemen, because we all got to move.
Yeah, you can make this as educated a guess as you like, but sometimes the zone just says, everybody's coming over here, and the Gentlemates will get aggressive and send Virtus.pro to their graves. Gentlemates were sat in third coming into this. Virtus.pro on top. A huge fight in the context of this tournament. The French continue to roll on out. They will have a lot of company to deal with. Enkiel's going to get knocked. Can you pull yourself off? It looks like he has. Standing back up here. But FaZe will be in school. And Twisted Minds have the rooftop to try and shut this down.
Hollow, he gets taken on out. FaZe, they're trying to play from this other side. Can you take the rooftop of school here into our top 3 as Clumsy trying to play alongside the other 2 players. Looking around on the outside, trying to be able to maybe find an angle on these players on the top. Hollow finally gets taken up from Gentlemates. It brings us down into a 3v3. Twisted Minds versus FaZe. C. Smith, he's going to be the first one to drop on down, but it's a huge wrap. Twisted Minds, they make the first rotation over to school. They hold down the positioning and they activate when they need to. Aiden, you can see, he is always a ball of energy. He is the light of the Warzone scene, and in those final moments, he comes online. The fans in the arena are going crazy right now, and that could be the type of game that puts Twisted Minds hot on the heels of Virtus.pro.
Most certainly could. They controlled that factory region so well, so early, and when it turns into layer cake action, so often you walk away from those with a body missing. It makes those end fights incredibly difficult. but they control the situation, happy to operate on the edge of zone, cut down teams trying to rotate in, but also then just ensuring that they don't get involved in too much action before they then spot that the rotation's got to come in. They get onto the rooftop, phaser underneath, but they deal with everything around them.